Welcome back to Settlement Survival on Extreme Difficulty. For those of you joining for the first time, I am APH, and for the rest of you, welcome back. This is an extreme playthrough, so it's going to be a little less edited than what I typically like to do, and it may come across as being a little bit slow. For that, I really can't apologize. It is what it is. I want to show how rough the game actually is, as we are on extreme difficulty. If we do a playthrough in the future, I might do some heavier editing. So let's get caught up on where we're at and where we were in the last episode. So we are living in tents, and in order to maintain our labors, I had to take 2 people out of the logging camp. We're going to have them just plant. In order to maintain our lumber, we've had to burn dried animal dung, and that kind of is how we're living, and it's very scary. For our seeds, let's go over that in our actual production here. We picked up the pea seed, and I don't remember if that was last episode or in between. We started with pumpkin and lettuce, and we picked up agave and flaxseed. Now, we also picked up alpaca, and we thought we picked up turkey because we had an actual hunter down here, which got us the alpaca, and then we moved the hunter over here. And I let it go for a few cycles, so I know it's not like it's stuck in there. But it never actually brought back the baby turkey, and it most definitely went and harvested it. So I'm a little bummed about that. Now, I don't see any more animals close by where we could just readily go get them. So I'm just kind of leaving that pause temporary. Now, our alpaca, we started with one actual pasture. And since then, I believe we started with this one and we divided it off. This one is almost ready to start harvesting. It will probably be later this year. As well as this one, for some reason, it's wanting to take a little bit longer. We had this pumpkin farm, and I added in this actual pea farm. So hopefully we're in a little bit better shape this year because food is still in pretty rough shape. And we're waiting for the harvest to start getting trees because our lumber is absolutely in horrible shape. So I'm going to keep raw materials kind of highlighted so I see how much dried animal dung we have, because we're going to have to switch back and forth between timber and dried animal dung for our actual production of fuel. And for the rest of our civilization, as we're starting to build our actual tailor's workshop there, as I said, we're in tents. We built the clinic, and I believe we built the church in the last episode. If not, this built in between. We started with the builder's workshop, and we paused the market right off the bat to have the extra labor. Since then, I've had to pause the big well in order to have enough people. And I built the repair shop, and I unlocked the small warehouse. Well, I unlocked warehouse, which gave me the small warehouse, because I felt that it fit right nice there, as well as I thought that it looked better being like that than something else. The blacksmith is set to only 20 tools, and from there, again, we're like out of clothes, so we got to get that going. And I think we started with 15 people, and we're currently up to 22. So we're kind of on the border of what I like for the ratio. I really like the ratio being 3-to-1 in other games that I play. So we're a little bit on the high side for kids, but that may switch really quick as this is still early game. So we're going to take a look as this finishes. We're going to lose another actual labor. So we're going to go alpaca wool, and we only have one temporary now. And so we're going to harvest some trees kind of getting forward. I think we're going to harvest those, and then we're going to have to switch over to harvesting food. Let's set the limit for clothes down to 20. That way I believe it was Polly becomes a temporary worker fairly quickly here. And probably once we start getting more adults, we're probably going to have to shift to making houses. This one over here is probably the first one I want to move since they're kind of off in the middle of nowhere. And oh, that's Polly. I was like, is that Lily? This one? But it's Polly. My mind's a little messed up. It's been a long weekend. The family is currently sick with COVID, so it's been a very long weekend. 111 Fahrenheit. I gotta switch that over to Celsius. That's like 43 or 44 degrees Celsius. That's pretty darn warm. I would be miserable. All right, for development points. As I said, we unlocked the actual warehouse. I believe we unlocked the tent. That was the first episode. We unlocked raw material or material recycling. That was the first episode. We unlocked sand mining. That was the first episode. And we've started our progression up to the actual nursery in order to get forest and herbalist knowledge. And we are out of food. All right, let's reprioritize. And let's gather all the plants that we can in a last-ditch effort. Now, we got 17. Hilton became a labor, and I must have missed another labor in there, as we only had 15 a minute ago. Oh, Jenna became a labor, and Hilton became a labor. We're going to have to unpause the big well for quickly here, but I want them to grab some food first, because I think that's, no matter what we run out of, we're in trouble, is what I'm getting at there. And we got our development point. That's amazing. And these guys are starting to harvest, so hopefully we get a good harvest. Let's get nursery. I really want farming efficiency, and that means we'd have to spend 3 points there. Anastasia just became a labor. That's amazing. So we're going to get some food in here fairly quickly, as they're definitely harvesting the pumpkins, and it looks like these are getting close. I think we could actually tell it to harvest, and maybe we tell them to harvest a little bit early, just so they get the harvest done. I want that big harvest. And then from there, I think we're going to shift this over to timber for fuel. Man, is it just the actual blacksmith that's eating up all of our timber, or did we just not collect that much? Timber feels really off in this game for me, and I'm not sure why that is. But it seems like we knock down a tree and it gives us 1 timber, and then out of that 1 tree we can make 1 tool. And I've done some working in the past, and I've made entire pieces of furniture, multiple pieces of furniture out of 1 tree that is decent size. And I just feel like the timber that we get in this game is not very, maybe to say, in line. Yeah, all these houses are cold. We're coming up on month 9. And we need more houses, but we need our actual domestic fuel. Let's place 1 house. Yeah, let's place 1 house. Let's unpause the big well. And what we'll do, maybe this first house, we'll let it be, as we've gotten a lot of extra laborers now. Because it looks like we had, what, five kids turn into adults? Maybe we'll let this first house be actual move-in. Let's unpause the market. And we've still got 3 for next year. I think we need another field. And we'll probably, that's pretty low. Even the pumpkins was really low. I think the Halloween event finally ended, so the harvest went down, but I'm not sure why, because this is supposed to be a higher yield, unless my harvesting it like just that second early ever affected it. I'm not sure why, but we'll go with pumpkins just to kind of test it. And we'll get 2 more into food production for the following year. We'll try to get them like right away, and we'll try not to place them in any jobs that require them to travel during the winter, because people surviving, I guess, to me is more important than actual progression at this point in time, because we're going to lose a lot of progression if people don't survive. Ooh, our pasture did produce meat. I think they require 40 food per person per year, which means this is almost productive enough to feed a person. And this one is not quite productive yet. Probably one more season. This one is really slow for some reason. And I don't know if that's like location, 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 or if the fact that I divided this one off just offset it. I do... Part of me wants another pasture and part of me wants to wait. I think if I did another pasture, it would be down here. -9, -7. I don't know if we're, like, I've seen rumors that we're going to hit, like, super cold winters, so we're going to need bigger clothes eventually. But we also have a bonus harvest coming up. That will be pretty big. And we're hitting January with no food. Ugh. No temporary workers. I don't know if we can spare them from anywhere because we're going to have to do some food harvesting. I want to have March hit and have them start. Thankfully, we're probably going to get a little bit of food from here probably fairly quick because we're already over our cap. So we'll let that kind of happen, and then we'll let the temperature move up above freezing before we send people out. That way we try to live a little bit longer. Because we only have 3 houses that are actually heated, and if we push too far, we're probably going to lose some. And once we hit about 180 dung, we're going to switch back over to production of dung into domestic fuel. Oh man, even that house is out of fuel. We're in rough shape. There's like no denying that. Let's grab this right here. Hopefully that's enough. And Alex became a laborer. Welcome to the labor force, my man. Our stress is really high. That's not good. And our happiness is low, lowering work efficiency. I'm not sure why that's low unless they're just cold. So hopefully they'll get warmed up. Yeah, we've only got this one with domestic fuel now. Ugh, we're above freezing now. So I think we're on the up and up. So let's get food wherever we can get food. And from there, once we get the food that we get, we're going to have to probably send our 2 temporary workers out to get more wood for more fuel. All right, we're over our limit, so let's switch this over to domestic from animal dung. And that will let us get maybe one more house in year 6. Not very promising here. Hopefully this harvest is a little bit better than the last one. Part of me says that I should go for farming instead of forestry. That might be like the downfall of our civilization. We've got no food, so we got to keep on getting the actual food. I haven't had good luck with the gatherer. So even though it's 2 dedicated gatherers, it also would mean that we have 2 people that we couldn't designate to something else if there is nothing in the area for them to gather. And I don't know that they gather any more efficient than the actual laborer does. Ooh, April, we had somebody born. That's amazing. We're up to 23 souls in our civilization. Now, if we can keep them alive, it'll be amazing. We only have 5 actual food. We have none right now. We're going to have to get wood eventually here. I'm scared. Yeah. So this one's new. So hopefully we'll get a good harvest here. Let's get these trees next so we can turn that into fuel going forward and maybe get one more house. And then our next labor, which isn't going to be for a while, our next labor is going to have to go into food production. Yeah, we're going to have to get a house this year in order to get more kids in order to make our progression. So that's got to be a thing. Maybe what we do is rob our repair shop and rob our actual builder. Let's see if we can gather our builder there. There we go. Let's rob him. So that they're temporary workers, and then we can gather whatever wood we can. We'll gather this since it looks like the logging camp, if words was come out of my mouth, has been very productive. And from there, we'll build one house. We'll move one of these. We'll look for a youngish couple. Probably this couple. We'll make them move down here. And at some point in time, probably once this dung goes away, we'll shift that back to burning actual wood. If my mind would actually get the word out. And we have a citizen that wants a house. That's actually kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing at the same time. It's good that our people want to develop, but at the same time, we're not ready for our civilization. We've got 2 boys that are ready by the looks of it. And 1 girl. I guess we could let Elliot and Hilton move into a house together. Do we have 2? We just have 1. So we definitely have Elliot there, and we definitely have Hilton there that are both laborers. Well, one's a farmer, one's a laborer. But they're productive members of our society is what I'm getting at. So by all means, they could move into a house, and then they would most likely in the next year or 2 produce a family. That might be the best route. We're out of iron. Ugh. Let's gather this next, and we probably... Oh, all right, they finished that, so we're good there. We don't have our builder going yet, so the moment we get iron, we're going to have to make that shift. And we're going to keep a close eye, because if we get to a point where something starts to degrade, we have to get our repair shop working again. Let's try this again. I've noticed this a few times where I'll tag an item and it acts like I don't tag it. And I'm definitely hitting the left mouse button and clicking that way, so it's not like I'm unselecting, but at the same time, that's what I'm kind of getting, as though it's unselecting. All right, we have an injured person. A foot fractured, works at the church, so we're not going to get any happiness from the church. I guess that's okay temporarily. Our happiness is just going to go down a little bit. And we've got our harvest. So I think with 23 people, we need roughly 800, 900 food, roughly. Plus whatever they store in their house, because people are in this game are hoarders. Yeah, I think we're ready to... Yeah, we're ready to unpause the builder so we can get this built. And then we're going to have to gather some more trees, some more lumber. 483, which is good. 384, not so hot. And this one, we've already produced more than last year, so we're okay. So I've got high hopes for the next year here. And let's gather, before we get too much further into the cold season, let's gather, I don't know, this area right here. And we're going to have to switch this over to timber. To hopefully produce a little bit, and maybe we place, I was going to say let's grab the builder, but we can't grab the builder yet. Let's place an extra worker in there, because I think we waited too long. Right now, I'm year 6 and I haven't had any deaths. And I really want to keep on that route of trying to go as far as I can without having any frozen deaths. Frozen or starving death. Now, the good thing is food this year was absolutely phenomenal, and I've got high hopes that we have enough food now to kind of maintain. So it's just maintaining that we keep enough fuel going forward. They have to go get some more to actually produce some. Lumber, that is. And what did we have down here? Elliot and Hilton. So the good news is, yeah, we've got our first child from our next generation over here. That's actually pretty good. To 25 people. The ratio is still a little off. It's probably going to be a little off. Maybe we grab these trees right here. I don't think they're too far from our civilization. And maybe, you know, I like how this is working with only one planter. Maybe we get another one over here with just one planter and try to, now that our laborers are starting to go up, and we try to make that progression. I think from here, yeah, let's go. Oh man, this is a hard decision. Let's go forest farm first. And that means we're going to have to get clay down this year. I don't think we're ready for clay. That's the only bad part about it. I probably want to be a little closer to that 30 mark for 30 actual laborers. And taking a look at the harvesting here. Oh, that's not the right spot. Oh, all right. So this also, the nursery also requires clay. That's good to know. The sand pit requires only 20 lumber, 20 stone, and 20 metal. All right, let's build it so that we can build the foresters. Because I know like one forester, like over here, would produce the same amount as 3 actual positions over here. So we'll try to make that route where we make that progression. And we'll just kind of pause. We probably have to unpause the repair shop. Yeah, let's unpause that. We have one more person wanting a house. Probably Alex. I don't know that we have any females to go with. Iris is too young. And Brittany is too young. So I think the next house I want to move one of these families into an actual house. And we'll try to get one more in year 7. That will probably be the go-to. We have like no unemployed people. This is actually really scary. The nice thing is we have a little bit of food going into the year. That's actually pretty nice. That way we don't have to focus on getting food the entire season. Let our animal dung get a little higher before we switch back to it. And we'll try to get this in this season. Probably year 8, we're probably going to have to add one more farm. And we're probably going to have to look for... Hopefully one of these will become adult and we can make that happen. As well as we're probably going to have to add some beverage very shortly because that looks like it's getting close. Let's switch this to dung just to get our dung down, and we'll let our actual sand pit get built. From there, we're probably going to pause it like right off the bat. We're up to 26 people. That's amazing. Oh, look, our first next generation. That's good. I don't think I've had any deaths. Yeah, looking through here, I mean, we've gone 6 years without any deaths, and I'm pretty happy about that. And eventually we're going to get to old age deaths, and that's what I'm looking for. So let's take a look. We've got... Oh, hey, they're building this. That's amazing. We probably can harvest this next. Probably should have gone from this way. It doesn't like being over that mountain. Yeah, we'll go this way for our next batch of wood. And we'll try to build a house. I'm thinking right here. I don't know which family we want to move yet. Maybe we'll move this one. We need clay first. And let's set this. Let's set this as a, I don't know, 200 clay. I really don't know what we need for this because we're going to make our actual forester here. Can't place it on the border. Let's place a road down here so we kind of get our kind of go-to where we want to build. And we can build the road on the actual border, but we can't build the actual tile there. Let's gather up these plants. Seems like an amazing idea. And then we'll build probably an 11 by an 11 would be my guess. 11 by 11 takes 121 clay. If we do 13 by 13, I think it goes 2 the one way and 3 the other way. That's too large. So 15 by 15 is the largest. Let's do 11 by 11. That seems like it maybe is the optimal. Yeah, we'll go with that. We've got one starving person, so we have to make some adjustments here. So let's cancel that so that they can get to collecting the food. And we'll absolutely gather these right here, and we're going to prioritize that up. What are we? We're month 7, so we're close to the harvest. Let's pause our sand there. So we get the extra person. Let's pause our actual repair shop, and let's pause our builder. And let's pause our water. That way we try to get as many people out there collecting as we can. Seems super legit. Yeah, they're pulling in food, and it looks like our actual farms are pulling in food. That's really good. This seems a little low. This is not quite ready. We'll let this go just a little bit longer. I think we have to get enough tools to make the upgrade, and I don't want to do the upgrade until we have the fertile fields. So that's kind of my planning long route. No, we need clay, which we don't have. And I think that falls under ore, which seems like a weird spot for it, but it's okay. And what are we doing for our lumber? Yeah, we're out of fuel. So let's get this switched over to timber. From there, ooh, man. So we're up to 27 people, and I think we have a decent ratio there of 21-6. So I don't want to expand too much quicker, but we definitely need to keep that production going. I think a goal of 30 laborers by year 10 is probably actually a really good goal. I think that this probably is a good spot to call this episode, maybe just a little bit longer. Maybe we'll call it at year end, and then we're probably going to get a cut to where we come back at year 10 itself. That way there's a little bit of progression in between. Yeah, we'll go from there. Look at that. The harvest was 628. So that actual mark of 30%, that goes a long way. And oh man, we're hitting the cold and they haven't harvested, so we just lost out there. Thankfully, we have 1,000 food going into the actual winter. And we just gained Kevin as a labor. That's amazing. Let's put him back in the sand pit, and that way we get our enough actual clay to proceed, and we should probably reenact some buildings. Yeah, reenacting some buildings is definitely the way to go. We're out of lumber. Does not surprise me. Let's man, all right, we've got to go get some trees in the middle of winter. Not a fan. Let's gather these ones that are in the middle of the actual city. That way they're close to their houses, and hopefully we can get enough actual wood to keep people from freezing. And I think this is a good spot to call this episode. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you in the next episode.